Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a while since WWDC ended. A lot of new features coming in to iOS 15, macOS Monterey, a lot of good stuff. A lot of the stuff like tvOS, all that stuff, I left it out. This is just a video about iOS 15 and its newest features. So let's jump right in. So iOS 15 is getting a huge bump up in many aspects compared to iOS 14, especially in FaceTime. For me, FaceTime is what I'm most excited to see how it works out, and that's probably going to get the most updates. So let's go in and talk about FaceTime. So firstly, FaceTime is something that we've been using to communicate with friends and all recently, especially during the pandemic. Zoom and Google Meet, people have been using that and been on that every day. And FaceTime is now becoming more like that. So now you're going to be getting tiles on FaceTime, kind of like how you would on a Google Meet. Now you're going to be getting spatial audio coming to FaceTime. I'm really excited to see how that's going to work out. So when you have your AirPods in or whatever, wherever the tile is placed on the screen, it's going to sound like the voice is coming from there. So if a tile is at the bottom of the screen, it's going to come from the bottom, and if it's at the top, it's going to come from the top. I really don't know how that's going to work and how much I believe that until I try it for myself, but yeah, excited for that. Another thing is voice isolation versus wide spectrum. So this is especially useful when you're in a background with a heavy background noise. Let's say somebody's vacuuming behind you and you're not able to focus on your FaceTime call. You turn on voice isolation and all that noise will go and it'll just be your voice talking. Another thing is wide spectrum, which is kind of the opposite, which lets in all the noise. So let's say you're trying to play, you're trying to communicate, playing some instrument, playing your piano or something, and you want all the sounds to be absorbed. That also works, and that's going to be your wide spectrum. The next thing is portrait mode that we all know and love, and one of the iPhone camera's greatest upgrades in recent years is coming to FaceTime. So basically, it'll blur out the entire background and just focus on your face. And yeah, portrait mode is going to be coming in the FaceTime video. Now, the biggest thing for me is FaceTime is coming to Android and Windows and PCs and everything. FaceTime is no longer going to be just an Apple inclusive thing. You can get a link just like you would with Google Hangouts or stuff like that and share it with your friends who may not be Apple users, but they can still hop on that link just like you would for Google Meet. So this is going to allow FaceTime to reach a much broader group of people. Everybody who has any device can just tap the link and join the FaceTime call. So it's not going to be exclusively for Apple users anymore. Now, all that covered, we got more stuff coming, and that's where we get led to SharePlay. SharePlay is coming to FaceTime, which is kind of like, we've seen it a lot, just sharing your screen and stuff, but this is completely new to FaceTime. And this is going to allow you to share your music, watch a movie together, watch videos together, and everything will be in sync. So let's say somebody, you're all watching a movie together and you click pause, it'll pause on everybody's screen. You can use Apple TV and connect it to the FaceTime and play it through there. You can, there's so many things that SharePlay allows you to do. Listen to music together, watch videos together, and that's really huge updates coming to FaceTime. So that's basically FaceTime. That in itself is probably the biggest upgrade to iOS 15, I think. iOS 14 had a lot of new looks. So as far as looks, iOS 15 is going to stay a lot the same. Because, widgets was like that big defining feature of iOS 14 that made our home screen and all look completely different. So I think FaceTime is that big feature here that's completely been changed. Next thing we want to go to is Wallet. Wallet app in Apple has been used to store Apple Card, credit cards, debit cards, used for Apple Pay, stuff like that. But now Apple is taking the wallet a step further, a huge step forward, by adding all sorts of stuff. Passports, driver's license, hotel cards, car keys, debit cards, credit cards, everything you could imagine they are making in the Apple Wallet app, which means you no longer need to be carrying a wallet anymore. They say, this is really going to be a huge thing, huge shift from people having to carry all this stuff around. The new BMW coming out this year is going to be allowing you to use your iPhone to power up the car. By the end of 2021, states who approve it will allow driver's license to be stored on iPhone. Apple is working closely with the hotels so that you don't have to, use plastic hotel keys, which are very bad for the environment. And, after you use it, it's kind of just a waste. And bringing all that to your iPhone and really integrating the iPhone more with all these things We've seen, car keys, so car keys are possible, and then the TSA, I think, yeah, TSA is working with Apple in order to get the password there, so you can skip screening and have your passport with you all times on your iPhone. These are all huge, huge jumps, and maybe in 5 years we might never have to carry a wallet around anymore. So yeah, a lot of updates coming to Wallet, or a lot of new features coming to Wallet in terms of things that you can add. It's no longer going to be just credit cards and debit cards. All the stuff is coming to Wallet app. Next thing is Safari. So I personally don't use Safari. If you would watch my previous videos, you would know. But Safari is getting a whole new redesigned look. Earlier this year, Chrome, my sister showed me this feature where you can group tabs on Google Chrome. I had no clue of this, but this was absolutely life-changing. I have hundreds and hundreds of tabs open across a bunch of different windows. When you're doing remote school and all this stuff, being able to group the tabs was really, really helpful. Have one for like math work, one for science, or one for personal stuff. And just keeping all your tabs in groups was really helpful, and now that's coming to Safari. So Safari is going to be taking advantage of that. Since Safari is owned by Apple, Mac, iPhone, iPad, all your group tabs will sync across all your devices and give you a seamless experience. So there are some new features coming to Safari, as well as new looks for the the tabs and the bookmarks and all sorts of stuff. A little bit of different looks in Safari. Now we go to Maps. Maps is getting a whole new redesign, which is going to be a globe style deal. It's going to have 3D interface. I really just want to get that and show you how it looks. It's fascinating. It's really cool. It's not something we've seen before. Roads and flyovers and trees and parks and all these things can be seen in 3D. You can, go into San Francisco and see the picture of the 3D Golden Gate Bridge. A lot of really cool stuff that I think is going to make traveling much easier for many people who are driving to, visualize where they're going and see that. I think Maps is going to get a big update. I personally use Google Maps if I ever just want to, check out some places, because I find it a lot better than Apple Maps. But with these new things, Apple Maps is more meant for like navigating just from your house to a close place, like inside a city. Whereas I feel Google Maps is better for, checking out different countries of the world and all that stuff. But, yeah, so that's going to be a lot of new updates coming to Apple Maps as well in iOS 15. Now, live text. This is something that's completely new, never heard about, coming to iPhone. It basically allows you to take a picture, have text or writing or whatever on there, and your phone will be able to recognize that. That is super, super useful. You can take a picture of a whiteboard, of some meeting notes, anything, and you can literally just copy and paste that entire stuff that's written by hand on the whiteboard can be copied and sent as a message to your boss or whoever needs that. It's really cool. It understands 7 different languages at this point, including traditional Chinese, English, all these sorts of languages, and it can literally read that and pick it up. Let's say you see a business card. You can take a picture of the business card with the number, and if you ever want to, go back to that, click on the number, and iPhone recognizes that as a phone number, and the minute you tap on there, it'll call that. A lot of cool things coming to live text. I'm really excited for that feature as well. I'm seeing how that'll work, because it's, a completely new thing. Now, the weather app is getting some refreshes as well. After Apple's acquisition of Dark Sky, one of the most popular weather apps, you're going to be seeing a lot more better animations, precipitation, forecasting. I think it's air pressure, air quality. There's a lot of new refinements, slight tweaks and refinements that'll make the weather app better and better. Now we go over to the help section of things. There's going to be trends, which allow you to see, trends about your health, and walking stability. So basically, based on how much pressure you're putting on one feet, I don't know how the iPhone does this, but it's able to find out if you're stable in walking or if you're not, and if you might be at risk of falling. This can be helpful for your doctors to check out the health app, and it's just a new cool feature that measures your walking stability and tells you, it gives you exercises on there. If it shows that your stability is low, it gives you videos and stuff on how to make that stability better, and a lot of cool stuff that I think it'll be really good for people who have trouble becoming stable and walking correctly and getting good posture. All that stuff is coming to help. New refreshes there. Now, a new thing is shared with you. So shared with you is basically any pictures, pictures, you know, whenever messages is also getting a slight refresh, a slight tweak. Just wanted to add that in there. Any pictures that you send will not be in its current way. It'll be like little cards that you just swipe out, and then you can see the next picture. It'll just be looking like a lot cleaner and nicer. But yeah, back to the shared with you thing. Any news articles, podcasts that's been shared with you, you know, you always get that in the morning from your dad or whoever. My dad always sends me all these articles. I'm like, I don't really want to read it at that point. But if I ever do go back into the news app and I'm, you know, in the mood to read it, it'll show shared with you articles or whatever. So in the news app, the minute somebody sends you something and you don't look at it, the next time you go to read the news in the news app, it'll show you underneath all the different articles that's been shared with you if you really want to go back and check that. That goes the same with, I think, news, podcasts, and photos. So yeah, a lot of stuff. Can't wait to try this out. The beta version is already out for developers. I think the public version comes out in a couple weeks or the end of July, I think. But whenever it is, I'm super excited for it, trying it out. I'll definitely make a video trying out all these features and showing you how they work in real time. Looks really good, guys. I think iOS 15 is going to be another great improvement, especially in FaceTime and all the dozens of features coming to FaceTime and it being inclusive for everybody. Really excited for all these things. Can't wait to check it out. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.